The Coming Celestial Shift, a Theoretical Framework for Astrological Evolution, 2030 to 2070. Professor Piscean, Department of Forward Studies, University of Luna, Journal of Experimental Astrology, Volume 1, Issue 1, Terran Standard Year, 2070. The period of 2030 to 2070 represents a profound astrological epoch, demarcated by the Pluto and Aquarius generation and the Uranus and Gemini cycle. This paper posits that these and other transits will not merely manifest as socio-political events, but will fundamentally reshape the practice and theory of astrology itself. We theorize the emergence of new astrological concepts, including the integration of trans-Neptunian objects into mainstream practice, the development of temporal layering, the quantification of aspect flux, and the recognition of the Anthropocene ascendant. This essay provides a theoretical framework for these impending evolutions. Introduction: the end of static interpretation. For centuries, astrological practice has operated on a largely static planetary pantheon. While the discoveries of Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto were successively integrated, the core methodology interpreting the dance of 10 planets through 12 signs and 12 houses has remained consistent. The coming decades, characterized by the rapid acceleration of technology, the maturation of artificial intelligence, and humanity's permanent establishment as an interplanetary species, will necessitate a radical expansion of our symbolic language. The astrology of 2070 will be as different from that of 2020 as modern psychology is from medieval humoral theory. The full integration of the Kuiper belt, Aries, Sedna, and Makemake as cultural lenses. The early 21st century saw the discovery of numerous dwarf planets. By the 2030s, their archetypal meanings will have crystallized through collective experience, moving from speculative to essential. Aries, Discordia, and the synthetic shadow, with Pluto in Aquarius 2023 to 2044 catalyzing group dynamics and technological upheaval. Aries will emerge as the key archetype for understanding algorithmic conflict. We will no longer speak only of interpersonal rivalry, Mars, or psychological power struggles, Pluto, but of Aries transits, periods where AI-driven social networks, autonomous systems, and misinformation campaigns create systemic chaotic discord. A transit of Aries to a nation's Mercury will not indicate a simple debate, but a synthetic shadow projection, a period of reality distorting information warfare. Sedna and the cryospheric unconscious. As the ecological consequences of the Neptune and Aries transit 2025 to 2039 become unavoidable, Sedna's domain will be understood as the psyche of the biosphere. Named for the Inuit goddess of the sea, Sedna represents the repressed trauma of a plundered earth. Its placement in a chart will indicate one's karmic and psychological relationship to the ecological crises. Progress aspects to Sedna will mark moments of profound ecological awakening, or in its negative expression, deep ecological dissociation. Makemake in the virtual persona. Rapa Nui's creator god, Makemake, will become the archetype for avatar creation and identity creation in fully immersive virtual worlds. The Neptunian dream made manifest by Uranian technology. Its placement will describe how an individual constructs their digital self. A Make-Venus conjunction in the 11th house, for example, could indicate immense social capital and relationship building within a virtual society, entirely distinct from the natal Venus's expression. Temporal layering, the end of linear transit analysis. The current model of tracking transits against a static natal chart is a product of a linear perception of time. The 2040s, under the influence of Uranus and Gemini, 2041 to 2048, will see the development of temporal layering. This concept proposes that an individual does not have one natal chart, but a temporal signature composed of multiple layers. The natal layer, the traditional birth chart; the embarkation layer, the chart for the moment one first enters a sustained virtual reality or signs a primary AI agent contract; the transplanetary layer, the chart for the moment one establishes permanent residency on another celestial body, like lunar ascendant or Martian midheaven. The astrologer of 2060 will not ask, "What is your rising sign?" but "On which plane of existence would you like the analysis focused?" A transit of Saturn to the embarkation midheaven would indicate career challenges in one's primary virtual profession, while a Jupiter transit to the transplanetary IC would signify expansion and opportunity in one's off-world home. Aspect flux, quantifying the dynamics of connection. Traditional aspects, conjunction, square, trine, are binary and static. They are either formed or not. The future lies in aspect flux, a dynamic quantitative measure of the quality of an aspect's influence over time. Using data stream analysis, a Uranian-Aquarian technique, we will be able to measure an aspect's pulsation rate, the frequency of its felt influence, its resonance amplitude, the intensity of its effect, and its signal-to-noise ratio, the clarity of its expression amidst other chart factors. For instance, a square with high flux but low resonance might be experienced as persistent, low-grade irritation, whereas the same square with high flux and high resonance would indicate a critical, life-altering crisis. This will move astrology from a descriptive to a predictive, phenomenological science. The Anthropocene Ascendant, a new house system for a new age. The current house systems, Placidus, whole sign, etc., are geocentric models reflecting a human-centric worldview. As humanity becomes a multiplanetary and geoengineering species, a new system will emerge, the Anthropocene Ascendant. The system recalibrates the ascendant and midheavens based not on the local horizon, but on the individual's relationship to the technosphere and the cryosphere. The Anthropocene Ascendant would be calculated using data points of one's primary digital footprint and energy consumption signature. It describes the mask one presents to the integrated human-machine network. The Anthropocene midheaven would be calculated using one's ecological footprint and resource utilization profile. It signifies one's career and legacy within the context of a managed planetary system. The system will be essential for understanding the leaders, innovators, and outcasts of a world where the boundary between the natural and the artificial has been permanently erased. Conclusion: astrology as a symbiotic system. The period of 2030 to 2070 will transform astrology from a hermeneutic art, interpreting a fixed sky, into a dynamic participatory dialogue with a conscious cosmos. The astrologer will become a temporal ecologist, interpreting the complex interplay between the natal human, their digital emanations, and their planetary footprints. The great transits of this era, Pluto in Aquarius, Neptune in Aries, and the forthcoming Uranus and Gemini cycle, will not just change the world we look at, they will change the very lens through which we look. We are moving from being readers of the celestial text to being co-authors of the next great astrological chapter.